So I met with my counselor today, and it's really convenient that this is the week that I met with her, considering, considering. And I had another tearful session. I kept the tears in, but I felt my eyes welling up quite a bit. I'm scared of committing suicide because you see in the movies when people, and this is why it shouldn't really be portrayed like that. Kind of like how drunk driving is always portrayed in the movies as blurred vision, but it's not blurred vision, it's just bad judgment. Unless you're like super drunk, but it's just bad judgment. So when it comes to people committing suicide in movies, you see them take the bottle of pills and they're like, goodbye, cruel world. And the world can be pretty cruel sometimes. But they take the pills like, goodbye, cruel world. They take the pills and then, they die. And that's the end of it. And it seems like, okay, well, taking pills, that seems like a simple way. And I'm not going to lie, that's part of what came through my mind because I have all of this DAMN medicine that I'm not a big fan of. I'm not a big fan of taking medicine for everything, but hey, it's the wave of the future. Take a pill a day for any and everything and you're good, right? That's the wave of the future. Anyway, so my concern is, what if it's not like that? What if you take the bottle of pills and then you go through an extraordinary amount of pain before passing away? And for me, I think about like when I would get those really bad headaches, and this is part of the reason I'm taking those pills, but I would get really, really, really bad headaches. It's been called cluster headaches before. My primary care physician thinks it might just be a really bad migraine. So I'm like, what if I take this bottle of pills and all that does is activate that headache for me? And my last few moments are spent in that extraordinary amount of pain. So I'm like, no, I can't do that because what if? And then I also think about the people who survive. A woman who attempted suicide. She was at a really, really low point in her life, and she was like, you know what? I'm just going to end it all. I'm going to jump in front of this train and commit suicide. Well, you can tell by the fact that I'm saying attempted suicide that it didn't work for her. She felt the train roll over her. The train roll over her multiple times as multiple cars, rolled over her as they were trying to stop. She felt the train roll over her multiple times, but the train stayed on track and it didn't kill her, but what it did was it paralyzed her from the neck down for the rest of her life. And it's like, okay, so what if committing suicide goes wrong? And that's also part of what scares me. And fortunately, my counselor, she's amazing. I always say she's amazing. She used to work in forensics, some of that, and she was on the crime scene and all of that. And she would see some pretty nasty suicides. And what they were able to tell from some of the suicides is sometimes mid-suicide, people change their mind. Change their mind mid-suicide and try to live because they realize, you know what, I do have something to live for. And they try to change their mind, but at that point it's too late for them particularly, and their life ends, and that's the end of it. And I'm like, golly, I wish when Hollywood Hollywood would, when Hollywood would portray such events, that they would put a little more reality into it. It's not this glamorous thing where you take a bottle of pills and then goodbye world, you know? That's not how it goes for everybody. And there's no guarantee for anybody because everybody's body is different. So you don't know what you'll halfway survive and halfway not survive. What most recently comes to mind is on Being Mary Jane. I don't know, I always feel strong emotions when someone on a show commits suicide. And I get it. It was this glamorous thing where she like wrote her note, goodbye cruel world, and sat her note on the whatever you call that nightstand, and she was in this beautiful nightgown, and she took the pills, and after writing her letter, she took all the pills, and she just laid down and, oh, goodbye, cruel world. So, yeah, that's my thing. My session with the counselor was amazingly therapeutic. Literally, after the session, I walked out feeling even lighter than I had, which is good, because walking in there, I was just so, oh gosh, weighed down and tired and holding on to the wall for support, all of that horrible stuff. And I walked out of there feeling much lighter, and I appreciate it. So this is the encouraging moment for today. If anybody has ever had any such concerns, 1, don't be afraid to call a friend. 2, don't be afraid to seek professional help. I think that's a good thing, and I think people need to understand that. I think everyone should see a counselor, honestly, because it's good to have somebody to bounce things off of. Anyway, talk to y'all later, YouTube. The session was good. Yes, keep alive, keep hope alive. Make it through the night. Hallelujah. Peace, be blessed.